Welcome, ladies
Sweet.
and gentlemen, to episode 170 of the Planet Destiny podcast. This is going to be a big one because, of course, we're a couple of weeks into Forsaken. We just had the raid drop, and wouldn't you know it, we've got somebody here who actually completed it. You know, one of the 18 people in the world who's actually beaten this darn thing. That's right. You know him, you love him. Glad, the one and only, is going to be our special guest for tonight's show. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's like I said, a pleasure, and I'm excited to talk about video games,
Right on, man. Oh, well, we're
among
excited
other
to.
things.
Among other
Yeah.
things, we'll throw some life questions at you. Get some sagely wisdom from Glad, maybe somewhere in the show, you know.
Yeah,
But
for
seriously,
sure.
it's great to have you here, man, because like you're so many Guardians hero right now with the absolutely insane plays that went on over the course of the Last Wish raid with you and the rest of Redeem. You guys, man, what a heart stopper that one was. So, you know, we'll go ahead and just dive on into the show here. We've got the usuals here. We've got Dan Fanity, Aura.
Hi.
Second week on the show. Good to have you back, man. Miss
Number two.
Moonvald. And of course, I'm TBL.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you guys. But why don't we just dive on into it? You know, this is, of course, the big ticket item of the week, the Last Wish raid. It happened. You beat it. What are your overall thoughts on it?
Overall thoughts on the raid. I guess I am very pleased with, I guess, Bungie's balls on this one. To be
Oh
honest,
yeah.
Cojones,
we
man.
we all know that the launch of Destiny 2, you know, wasn't, there were some issues and there were some skeptics, and by some I mean a lot, and it wasn't everything that everybody had quite imagined. And I feel like Bungie pretty much looked at all of it and they just said, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
We're like they're just like,
Yeah.
and they hit us with this Spire of Stars, which was step one, and everyone was like, wow. I think it was it was either 12 or 18. I never remember the number teams that had beat that raid, and we were like,
Yeah.
okay. And that was part of Vicarious Visions as well. And then, you know, they had them work on that raid while Bungie spent what was it, like 9 or 10 months on this raid, you know.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And then they came out with this one and they were hyping it all up with all these rewards and belts, and they said they were going to give an emblem to the people that completed it day one. And everyone's like, well, I mean, how bad can it really be? And, you know, Bungie's over there like, tell us that stuff's too easy one more time. Boom, and they threw this raid on us, and 2 teams, you know, 12 people beat it within the first 24 hours. And that really impresses me because like I said, I like the balls that Bungie's been thrown into this one, and they took a lot of risks with it, and I think it's really paid off. And I've just, you know, heard nothing but positive feedback from all types of people.
Right.
And you know, from big, you know, content creators to people that realize that, you know, shit, I'm not ready for this. You know, I haven't been able to grind like some of these other people, but like, you know, I'm excited to get in there. And it's cool how, I think it's so cool how people are one day at a time just trying to get the next encounter completed and then the next boss completed, and they're just sort of walking through, and it gives you this really cool feel. And just the little things they did by putting bosses' health bars in the bottom of the screen makes it feel more like an MMO,
Yeah.
you know, and they really made it feel like something that you actually had to prepare for to dive in there. And I think that's really awesome. And you know, a lot of people that might be a little sort of maybe irritated that they're not able to go through it right away, you need to understand that we're so under-leveled. Even the most hardcore grinders are still so under-leveled, and you know, these are the things that we prepare for. And just give it time, man. Get, you know, throughout the weeks, try to complete the encounters with your friends as you can. There's going to be guides and videos that are going to be released. Keep grinding your powerful drops throughout, you know, week on and week on, and you always have something to look forward to next week. And these are the types of things that Bungie is really good at, is giving you something to chase after the next week.
Right.
You know, next week, guys, we're Tuesday, Wednesday night, we're going to get this next encounter. And I think it's like bringing a lot of people back together and a lot of clans, and it's just creating a lot of content and excitement and the drive for more across the community. So, you know, I could go on and on. I mean, I love this game, and I think that Bungie is so unbelievably creative, and I think that this raid, beautiful,
Absolutely
gorgeous. I think this is a prime example of what the whole Bungie team is capable of doing, and I couldn't be more pleased with everything they put into it, and I hope that they continue to move forward.
That's a great way to start, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You hit on so many different notes there that were just beautiful. You're absolutely right. You know, whether it's, you know, the less than stellar first year of Destiny 2. I think a lot of people understand that. Things ramping up. So many people weren't prepared for this raid.
No, nobody was. We weren't. Nobody was. We still aren't. I went in and did my second clear today. My second clear took me like 7 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Half the time
on a higher level character.
Mm-hmm. I think, you know, there were so many people who knew that the raid was starting at around 550, and they got to 550, you know, and that took a lot of grinding. Getting to 550 alone took a lot of grinding over the past 2 weeks. And a lot of people, I think they were comfortable. They were like, okay, we know Spire of Stars was really just a really tough final boss fight. Eater of Worlds is lol. This probably won't be so bad.
Yeah.
24 hours later.
Oh boy.
Two teams have beaten this thing, and
almost poor Dado. 2 minutes. Yeah.
That was the 24 hours and 2 minutes is the new.
It had to be said, but yeah.
Yeah, we love you, Dado. I was pulling for you.
We do. We respect the hell out of you, but that is yeah.
But yeah, and what an absolutely incredible experience. Bungie's done a fantastic job, I think, with Forsaken as a whole. And the Last Wish raid is just kind of like the cherry on top of this beautiful Sunday that Destiny 2 has become. And I want to get deeper into the raid, maybe talk about some of your favorite mechanics from it, your favorite experiences from the full day that you guys spent in there trying to beat down Riven. And I almost don't even know where to start, because there's so many. I was able to watch the raid from start to finish. This was one of those rare instances where I was able to watch a raid all day, go to work, come back 8 hours later, and people were still in the raid.
Still at the same spot.
Still sitting in the vault like, what order does this go in? Did you get your knights? And beautiful. I haven't had a chance to run it myself. I'm nowhere near. I'm like in the 540s, and after seeing the first, I figured, I'll watch the world's first people get it, and then decide. I'm not ready. There's a 0% chance that TBL is ready to run this thing. But there's so many different awesome encounters in there from the beginning, you know, with the Techians. And you mentioned that bosses having their health down at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's so quick story. It's so funny. All my teammates were like, okay, wipe. We know what to do. We got him to 3rd health, and I'm like, and I'm DPS, and at one point I even stopped, and I'm like looking at the head, and I'm like, where's the fucking health bar? And I kept my mouth shut. And in our actual completion that I ended up, like splicing together, at one point I say, guys, is my game glitched? Because I can't see the health bar anywhere. And they go, glad, bottom of the screen. And I looked at the bottom of the screen, and I'm like, it took me 30 minutes to realize where the freaking boss's health bar was.
It got me too.
Yeah, totally threw me off.
Right, because we're not used to that. You know, we got to see a little bit of that with the final boss of the Forsaken story. But I was hoping that they would do that for raid bosses as well, and I'm super glad that they did. As somebody who plays a lot of MMOs, that makes me feel good, and it's just an awesome way to present the boss that you're facing. Do you have a lot of experience with any other MMOs?
Not really, to be honest. I had not really, dove into any of those super hardcore games like that. I guess the closest thing that I would say was I know life Skyrim for a while.
That counts.
Yeah, that was it. That was like I guess the first game where, you know, I really felt sort of what's the word here that I'm looking for? Immersed into the full experience, much more than just kind of playing to break my speed runs on Mario Kart or something, you know what I mean?
Oh man, speed runs on Mario Kart. What's your favorite Mario Kart game?
The only one. N64.
My man, that's right.
The
Okay.
only one.
Excellent. This is a man of culture and taste on this show. He understands. Give me that Toad's Turnpike all day, every day. We love it.
Yeah, no, Toad's is an alright map. I wouldn't say it's the best. I'm a big fan of Frat Base Snowland.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Banshee Boardwalk. I like the
Skips.
tougher maps. The tougher maps that require you to really master your drifting and things like that.
I'm down with that, dude. Right on. See? I like you, man. You got good taste. You got that good gaming taste.
You found a Mario Kart 64 noob when you ask them what their favorite map is, and they're like, "Oh, let's play Rainbow Road."
Rainbow Road, you know.
That's the worst map. It's just a big boring circle.
Longest. Ugh.
It's a long, boring circle. I nod off every time I play that map.
Gotta do the bounce.
But do you still beat people?
What's that?
Do you still beat people when you nod off, though?
I still beat people when I nod off because you can skip half that freaking course.
Bounce. There you go.
One of my buddies from home won't even play me anymore. He's the one that taught me how to drift. You know, swapping the analog back and forth to charge up your thing 3 times, and then you get a mini mushroom out of it. So a lot of people don't even know that that's a mechanic. And he taught me how to do it. So naturally, you know, the Sean way, I just went all in and just researched every single shortcut and frame perfect glitch and everything to just destroy each course, you know. And he doesn't even play me anymore. He's like, "You're not even fun to play." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because all you do is you just skip laps and miss all shortcuts." And I'm like, "It is Mario Kart tournament rules. That's what I play by. I play by official tournament rules." And he goes, so he's Yoshi and I'm Yoshi. And every time we play, he's like, "Well, I get to be Yoshi." I'm like, "Homie, you don't get to be Yoshi until you beat the man, until you beat the champ." And then he just doesn't play me. So we just don't play anymore. No.
I like
Mario
that.
Kart tryhards. I love
Mario Kart sweats. It's a real community, Moon.
Sweats.
World's first applies to everything. So moving back to Last Wish here. Like we were saying before, there's so many different crazy parts of this raid. Do you have a favorite section yet? I know you've run it a couple of times now. Is there any part of the raid that you love more than the rest? Or hate more than the rest?
So I still got to run through and I guess break down the encounters, because one of the things that you know, I do personally as part of our clan is I really like to understand the mechanics fully and understand what causes what and how can you speed things up, and then, you know, think about what's the lowest amount of people that this can possibly be done with. So for example, today, the very first boss of the raid, me and my clanmate Flesh Crunch, we 2-manned it. And we 2-manned it in 2 damage phases, which is probably shorter than most teams are doing. But that's because I spent about 2 hours in the beginning of my stream understanding how the mechanics work, you know, how the boss works, what's their health pool like, what's the most effective places to DPS. And once you dive into different encounters, and there's a lot in this one, you really get a really deep appreciation of all the crazy work that Bungie's put into it. Yeah. But I mean, I got to go with the final boss currently. The final boss has so much going on between having to split your team up and having to direct somebody blindly to an area where they have to go, and then, you know, keeping the ads under control, and it's a pretty heavy DPS check as well, and everything absolutely destroys you because you're so underleveled, and the boss fight is 580, I believe.
Yeah.
So
wow,
if you're anything under 540, I guess you start like not doing damage. Or I
Yeah.
get you might. What is it? Is
Question
it
mark
either-
immune. I think it's 5. If you're below
Yeah.
550, I think is where you'd be doing absolutely nothing whatsoever. You could
It-
be
I-
dying. I think.
Is it 30 or 40 power levels? I can't even remember. I think you know, basically.
Trigger Blade in chat says 540 to 545.
Okay, yeah.
That's a hard check, man.
Yeah, and most of us in there, like when I entered the raid, we had people in the 540s when we went into the raid. And, you know, we got a couple pieces of gear going up. But I think our lowest member was 545, 546. I was able to get to 550, but I had missed the entire first week of grinding.
Wow.
And then our highest member was like low 550s. And, you know, we weren't even, there were people that were 560 something before the raid even launched. So, yeah, but
Yeah, some people are absolutely crazy with their power gains, and lucky. It takes a fair amount of luck to get every bit of gear that you need.
Yeah.
yeah, it's insane. I mean, you get I was very fortunate on my final character, but one of my characters, I got like 7 drops in a row of the same exact weapon. I just kept getting energy weapons. I'm
At least
like,
it wasn't an
that's-
edge transit.
Yeah.
That
If
grenade
it
launcher's
increased my
everywhere.
power level, I'll take an edge transit at this point because I
yeah.
have the same situation going on. A same drop, same power level, and like 2 hours worth of work to acquire them. Whether it was nightfalls, whether it was other bounties, it wasn't like it's a prime engram. Oh crap, it didn't help. Like it was effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to.
That gun is such a meme right now. It's just all over the place.
I love it.
Absolutely.
It's infusion. That's what
Yep.
it is
Yeah.
at this point. And I swear every single one comes with the Genesis perk on it.
Yeah, it must be a
Telling ya.
really small perk pool for like that slot, because I see that on
Telling ya.
all of them.
Every single one's like Genesis rangefinder, and you're like, what am I gonna do with a rangefinder on a rocket launcher?
Get a little extra nothing out
But-
of it because it doesn't.
But
do
no,
anything.
that that boss encounter is very complex. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that you have to pay attention to. There's a lot of precise demands from a lot of the players, memorization techniques that are being formed for the fight, and just survivability. And it's really hard to, you know, it's the typical, you get the first phase over and over. Just,
Yep.
all right, reset, you get the first phase. And then everybody just collapses after phase one, and it's like it's the same thing,
Yeah.
man. It's the same thing, and everybody just chokes. People get nervous. People get sweaty. We did it for hours. We just kept choking, and we kept choking, and we kept choking. We knew exactly what to do, and that right there is a good example of a well-designed encounter.
Yep.
Because
Mhm.
if you're able to make me nervous by something on a screen in front of me, that's what makes a good horror movie. That's what makes a good
Right.
drama. That's what makes a good video game.
Yeah.
You know, if it was stupid and I didn't care about what was going on, then it's not a great encounter. And that encounter by far makes you feel very shaky.
That's actually a really interesting point, because when a
Yeah.
lot of the teams started getting to Riven, that's exactly what I noticed. They like with Dado's group and with Ninji, who was, I do believe, the first team to get to Riven.
Oh, they killed it. They were in the vault for 25 minutes.
And they just brute forced that thing. That was what a
Mhm.
crazy, amazing moment that was. Sitting
yeah.
back and watching that happen, and then watching a smaller streamer just basically explode. I caught onto their stream, I guess, kind of early, because I just know, I'm scrolling through the Destiny directory looking for different screens, and I see that looks like a part of the raid I haven't seen. So I go there, and it's like maybe 30, 40 people, and then you knew when their names started getting dropped everywhere else, because it jumped from 30, 150. 370, 16,000, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
absolutely insane watching that team go through. But in the
Yeah,
Riven
for
fight,
sure.
especially all the teams who got there, you're absolutely right. Seeing them figure out how things work, get through that
Mhm.
first phase, do damage, take down half the health, and then just crumble in the second
Yeah.
phase, doing the
Yeah.
same thing. And it's not like there's a lot of room for error there, because the enemies are like,
Mhm.
the Riven's 580. The enemies around you, the Scions I saw, were a constant source of terror for everybody. And you're absolutely right. That creates this kind of experience that is, it's the sign of a good encounter, man. It is a good raid.
Yeah.
It's got good mechanics, good solid good solid boss fight, and it's challenging.
Mhm.
It is challenging to finish that. And
It is.
oh man, it's fun to watch, and I'm terrified for when I actually step foot in there for the first time. I have no idea how I'm gonna handle
Me too.
it. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, have fun.
Thanks, man. You're my
Good luck.
inspiration. We'll get it done.
Have fun.
I'll just sit back and think of you wearing the world champ belt because you're the world champs. Yeah, I can't. You have to do a stream wearing that when.
Oh, I already
get it.
said I'm wearing it around my head.
Oh, good.
Gotta have on the jacket and the belt around your head. Be the absolute champion.
And it's cool. They're actually giving us one for all of our other worlds first as well, like
Yeah.
dating back
Really?
to dating back to all the players that did Vault of Glass. Our first world's first was Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah, I remember
So-
that. I was watching you guys do that, and
Yeah.
a little bit spooked by a fallen spider. That was weird. I didn't know what to think about that. Man, so how many worlds first have you guys gotten?
As a clan, we have 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The absolute champs. Redeem the
Yeah.
absolute champs.
And it's a nice blend. It's 3 normal modes and 2 prestigious or hard modes.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys deserve those. You deserve those belts, man.
Hell yeah.
Wear them with pride.
Hey man, I just say what I say to everybody. Listen, we're just a couple of like, goofy nerds that just know life a video game. And you know, if you put enough time into anything, you eventually become a master of it, you know. And
Mhm.
I think more than anything, you know, we're not the greatest players, we're not the most skilled players, we're not the luckiest players, we're not the most unlucky players. We're just very dedicated.
Yeah.
And we're very passionate, and I think that is you know, something that I've learned from my clanmates and they've learned from me, and it's something that we all have in common. We all care very deeply about what we're doing, and we all are get very, you know, we dive so deep into everything that we do and just rip everything apart so deeply, and we don't do that because we want to, you know, break the game or exploit the game. We do it because we just love the game. We just want more from everything, and that you can only get so much just from playing the game normally. So, you know, it's if you can kill a boss, why not kill a boss in 5 seconds, you know? and it's like, how can we do that? And those types of things just bring so much joy to us and just get us so pumped up, and we talk about it all the time. So that's how we are, man. Super dedicated group of nerds.
That's
It
man.
shows.
It does.
Passion definitely shows. I mean,
And we-
obviously, but
And we've been playing together for so many years. You know, 4+ years now, I guess, something like that.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
it's funny. People ask like, how do you prepare? You know, how do you guys get ready for these things? We don't. We really don't. We just do our thing, and we know, like, you know, when I'm playing with Modern, like, I know that Modern is he's got my back. He's gonna get 3 times as many kills as I have. You know what I mean? He's literally just gonna keep me alive. And you know, I have these little ideas of how, you know, every single person in my clan is gonna play, and I know that I can put my back to them, and they can put my back to me, and we know, you know, what sort of moves. We can almost predict each other's, you know, movements and what we're gonna do. And I think that's what synergizes us so well together is, you know, when you play together for so long, you just understand how that person is and how they play.
Right. Yeah.
It's
You
a lot
know
like
them.
sports teams. Like you get a lot of that. kind of
Exactly like that.
like,
yeah,
works
for
with,
sure.
your teammates and stuff. I got a question for you. I did the first encounter. I was 520 something when I went in, so my DPS was garbage.
Mhm.
So I
Oh my
walked
God.
in with a hand cannon, a shotgun, and the whisper was all
For
I could
sure.
do, and I had to use my super to kill my knight. I could solo my plate. You just told me earlier you 2-man that encounter. What's your loadout? Like, what are you? Obviously, you're higher
what's your
power
secret?
level, right?
Yeah.
So, but what are you going to go into that situation with? For those who are listening, we're about to go in to be the most efficient in the first encounter.
For sure. So there's a new gun that I'm a huge fan of, and it's called the Go Figure.
Mhm.
It is a pulse rifle. It's a 4-burst hard hitting pulse. And it's very, very, very good, and it can roll with Outlaw and Rampage, and it's actually quite common to get those rolls. Rampage is the big one you want to look for. Outlaw is just a plus, but it's a really good weapon for this raid because it works really well in close ranges. It does a lot of damage close range, and it does a lot of damage long range, so you can sort of keep yourself, at bay from all these dangerous enemies that you're under leveled, and that's what I used for the entire raid. And I think at least 3 people on our team used it as well, maybe even more. So I highly recommend grinding for that. It's just a random Forsaken drop. So you got gunsmith materials, Cryptarch, whatever, just play. And then a lot of us ran shotgun and whisper. I mean, that is pretty much a good go-to loadout. There's a couple new really good shotguns. I mean, obviously the EP Shoddy trumps all still because of a little perk called Trench Barrel. And that Trench Barrel works really nice for that encounter. So the way that I was, doing that encounter for the 2-man is I was using the Thrall to proc Trench Barrel because they're easy to hit. And then right as the knight spawning, and then you have a full Trench Barrel activated for the knights to spawn. So that's an easy way to take out those knights with a shotgun, even if you're under leveled. And Whisper's Whisper. I mean, it's the best weapon ever. There's nothing that will ever compare to Destiny 2's Whisper. It shits all over Spindle and Destiny 1. Yeah. It makes Black Hammer and Spindle look like a joke. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend that sort of loadout, especially if you're under leveled.
I did see a lot of Go Figure from the streams that I was watching, which kind of surprised me. I've got one with the Outlaw Rampage roll, and I love it. I didn't think people would be using it to such effect within the raid, so I'm kind of happy I got one. Yeah,
it's funny because I got one dropped in a Crucible game, I think, and then we were doing Crucible, and I was like, I'm gonna try this pulse rifle. First person I shot, I 2-burst.
Yep.
And I'm like, no way. I was like, what is this gun? So I tried it in PvE as well, and it's absolutely outstanding. I did want to actually address something for people that don't have the Whisper. Sleeper is an outstanding gun, especially in Forsaken. You can stack fusion rifle reserve perks on your armor, and you can hold. I hold 16 in mine on my current build, as opposed to the original. So you have a lot of ammo, and Destiny 2 Sleeper once again is much better than Destiny 1. Because of its ability to ricochet and split into 5 separate beams on a boss. So if you have, a dangerous enemy coming at you, you just kind of shoot, trying to hit him up in that gooch area. You shoot right underneath of him and bounce straight up. Yeah. And that gun will just wipe out enemies. And I guess if you don't have Whisper and you don't have Sleeper, my heavy of choice would probably be for Last Wish. For everything except for the boss, I would honestly say a grenade launcher because I don't. Yeah, there you go. Edge transit. If you're not running Edge transit, well, because
I still love playing the game. In PvE, by the way.
Rampage is a useful perk on the edge. I'll say it right now. It actually is a useful weapon when you have Rampage on it. That's about the only time.
Yeah.
I mean, Rampage is outstanding. Rampage is just a ridiculous damage buffing perk, and I wish that we hadn't seen anything quite that powerful in Destiny 1. And it's almost at the point where it's so good where if you get a gun that you like and it doesn't have Rampage, you kind of just scrap it at this point. So that's a blessing and a curse for sure. But it's really cool to find something that strong when you do get a gun that rolls with that perk. It's amazing.
It's good.
Yeah.
Better than Kill Clip and all those others by far. Stacking ability on that is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like it's up to 65% of a damage buff if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's actually kind of insane that those perks like that. It's one of the reasons why Midnight Coup still sees, other than just being a great hand cannon.
Yeah.
Midnight Coup is the perfect weapon.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make it better is if it had a little bit better range and accuracy at range. That's the only issue that I see with the gun. Sometimes, even on PC, it just, there's a certain range where once you're outside that, some other hand cannons will still hit like Better Devils, and Midnight Coup just kind of seems to ghost a little bit, and that's my only complaint with the weapon. But other than that, it's perfect. It's really perfect.
Well, since we're on the topic of weapons, you have completed the raid. You got some drops. Do you have a favorite thus far?
So I what did I get? The new exotic. So Bungie tweeted that the first group to complete the raid was guaranteed a gun called 1,000 Voices.
Mm-hmm.
And all 6 of us opened the chest at the end, and we all got the weapon. And when I first took it out, I was like, is this really? I can't tell if it's good or if it's bad. And we started shooting enemies. And then I realized the best way to describe the weapon is it's not your typical fusion rifle. This thing is just like if you took a charged up fire hose and just unleashed the beam of water. It's like a Blastoise cannon burst. And it just hits the target and then just keeps thrusting right through the target, and it's a very aggressive weapon, and it's amazing. I mean, we actually just did something funny, and we're gonna put the video up tomorrow, but we did 6 of those. We took our raid team and did 6 of those against Callus.
Oh no.
And I'll just leave that to your imagination. Tune into the YouTube tomorrow and check that out. We'll all have our point of views for that. So.
Oh, good God. I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was awesome. There's a lot of rewards for World's First this time around, between the World Champ belt, people beating it before reset this week, getting the jacket and all that kind of stuff, and of course the World's First team all getting 1,000 voices. I thought that was a really interesting, really awesome move on Bungie's part. A really great way to reward the team that fights through that. It'd be like if the first team to beat Vault of Glass hard got Vex Mythoclast. Pre-patch Vex Mythoclast. Could you imagine?
Yeah, for
that?
Sure. Oh my God. Yeah. 0.2 second Crucible kill.
Bloop, bloop, and I think that's a great way to move forward when it comes to the World First races, because this is just a part of Destiny culture now. Everybody tunes in for the World First race.
Yeah.
Just looking at the Destiny directory on Friday, towering above absolutely every other game being streamed.
Yeah, it was beating Fortnite.
Yeah, can you believe that?
It was beating Fortnite.
Oh my God.
Fortnite and League both took the L's on Friday because people wanted to see people get clapped up by a space dragon, and oh boy, did they get their money's worth on that. And so I think that's another great incentive for Bungie to put out there for teams that are trying to get World's First. And you guys did it. You got it. You got your special fusion rifle that you can draw dicks with. And
it's actually, you got to be a outstanding dick drawer. I tried, and you got to go so fast. I think I was only able to get the schlong portion in. I can't.
Challenge accepted.
I could never get the balls to fully connect. So I think you got to get 2 people with the weapon, and you got to go, together, and combine them together to get the full unit.
You just know there's one Guardian out there who's like, it's my time. I am the world's fastest dick drawer.
Just be warned, the dick is most likely going to blow up on the ground and kill you. So
I can't think of any better way to go.
Time.
No.
Late night show. I like it. Oh, so
but
that's great.
We've been talking about that for a while now. And about getting like an emblem for each of the raids, and it would still be cool if they actually went back like they did with the belts and they said, hey, we're going to give the World's First team for every single raid, a different emblem, because it would be something that would be so exclusive. And it's so cool how there's only 12 people with this emblem. That makes it officially by far the rarest emblem ever in Destiny.
Yeah.
And I just assume that they're going to continue to do something like this, but we had been talking about this for a while, and then they went and did all this, and then they threw the jacket on and the gun and all this stuff, and we're like, wow, this is really cool. Like they're really supporting and showing a lot of love towards people that are going to grind. And we all guessed that the raid was going to take 10 hours, and we thought that, you know, there would be multiple teams that were going to take it. It was way less people that completed this than anybody thought, I think. And I want to know what I DM'd a couple people from Bungie and asked them, you know, do you guys have, like, are there any reaction videos? Because they had reaction videos from Leviathan, they had reaction videos from Spire, and I kind of want to see, like, what, I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know what they're thinking. I really do.
Yeah.
I want to know if this is what they thought. I want to know if this is worse than they thought, you know. So
that's always really interesting, and I loved seeing some of their reaction videos to when people were beating the previous raids, and I just want to see some of their reactions to, like, people the salt going on in the vault. I want a super
The vault
cut
salt.
of the
we
vault salt.
we almost lost. We almost that was a bad time for us, actually. We had 2 of our members completely stopped talking for about 3 hours. Just completely shut off. The one person was just like, I'm not feeling this. This is dumb. And then everyone else was just, every time an idea has come up, they just be like, just laughing at the idea of how stupid it was. Yeah. And it was, you know, eventually there was a point where we were all just sitting there, just like, what do we do? Like, I would say we were in the vault for, we got there in about like 2 to 3 hours, somewhere around there. The first, you know, 3 bosses didn't really take too long. As soon as we figured out the encounter for the second boss, we first tried it right away. Like, we pretty much winged it and did it instantly. The first encounter didn't take long at all. I'd say maybe 20, 30 minutes. You know, I could be way off. People are checking my VOD right now. And then we got there within a couple hours of the vault, and we were there all the way until like hour freaking 12, 13.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. And just everybody started, you know, team morale started going down, energy levels started going down, people started complaining, I'm hungry, my eyes hurt, my back. It's just a lot of stuff, and
I can't feel my legs.
Yeah, and it was
deal with it.
And what started happening was you know, one person would say something, and then it was like, you know, I felt like another person would be like, okay, well, since he said this is my window, this sucks. And then, you know, so I'm over here, you know, like, no, let's get some positive energy. And so what I kept doing was, let's go, let's keep going. We got to keep, like, even if we can't just sit here. I was like, let's just start. And I'm like, get on plates. We need to keep going. I was like, I would rather keep moving than not moving. Because once you stop moving, you're done. And, you know, and then everyone else, you know, all the other people are just like, you know, error. All right, let's go. And then flesh, and then modern, and then indica and sweat. You know, they were all like, let's go, let's keep moving. Let's try this. What haven't we tried? And we just started process of elimination. Just started knocking things out. Like, what have we tried? What haven't we tried? If we tried this and it didn't work, what's the opposite of it? You know, what do these symbols mean? And we did the craziest things with the symbols. I mean, we were literally assigning, at one point we were grouping them into reptiles, aerial birds, and water creatures. And then we were looking at the way that they were facing and just all these things. And then we were assigning, like, the water people to the well area, and then the dragons to the rocks, because that's where dragons would go. And then the birds to the trees, because birds would fly in trees. And I just could not get over these symbols. I'm like, why would they put these symbols? So then, you know, everybody in the community, they're all like, the symbols are there to debate you. There's nothing with those symbols. And we just dropped the symbols for like 4 hours. We just said, screw the symbols. Little did we know that the symbols tell you how to do the encounter.
Yep.
And I couldn't get them out of my mind. And I'm sure there were a bunch of other people. And eventually, when there were no ideas, and I remember Error and Flash, they're literally just like, I have nothing to say. Like, I am completely out of ideas. And I was like, I am in the same boat. I just don't know what to do. Let's just keep running. And then at one point we just decided, we're like, let's go back to the symbol. Like, there's something with these symbols. And we said, screw it, let's go back to the symbols. And we started analyzing the symbols and things like that. And then the whole freaking Penumbra, Antumbra. So we're on Wikipedia, Googling like lunar encyclopedia, moon phases, and all this stuff.
Mason,
like,
what do they mean?
I know. And we're like, Bungie, what are you doing? Like, what? I didn't take freaking moon science courses, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, what do you expect of us? And then I gotta give a huge shout out. So, they had tweeted that Bungie, or that Datto and his team had officially cracked the code and had scientifically and strategically figured out how to do it. And so when we heard that, we were like, okay, so there's clearly something going on, with this Penumbra and Antumbra stuff. I might even be pronouncing these words wrong. But long story short, yeah, you just combine both of those together, choosing a starting location and a direction and who gets Pen and who gets Ant. And then we realized that every time you picked it up, it was always Pen or Ant, and it was never Umbra, which is the third portion of it. So we started rolling things out, and we came up with one last idea. It was like one of our last ideas, and I had all these drawings up on my screen, and I was just like, okay, let's try this. And you can even hear in my video, I say to people, because I'm kind of just not really shooting anything, and I go, guys, can somebody like take care of this side? I have so much going on in my brain right now. And then they'd call out symbols, and I'd be like, all the clocks are turning. I'd be like, slamming trees, and we slammed and it worked. And then we kept going around and it kept working, and then we screwed up because we died, and we did it a couple more times. And when we finally, you can see when we get the first slam on the third phase, you need one more slam. And if you don't fail that, you complete it, because there's only one more left after that.
Right.
And as soon as we slammed it, you just hear everybody is just like, like, we're just so nervous because we just wanted that encounter to be over so bad. And we slammed it, and it worked, and nobody said anything, and everyone was so focused. And then when we completed it, I think it was Sweat Navy, who's known for just screaming. He's just like, what? And he just freaks out. You would have thought we'd beat the raid. So big shout out to Datto, though, for being the first to fully understand what the heck was going on. I was in a party with one of the guys, Lunar, who was on the team that just muscled through it. And he admitted, he was like, we didn't really know what the heck was going on.
Just brute forced it.
Yeah, he's like, we just muscled through it. None of us really knew what the heck we were doing. But then big shout outs too to our group for not giving up, because that was the point where we almost gave up. And that was the point where, I could tell, and everybody could tell, that people were considering just saying, replace me, screw it, but we kept going, and that's the vault.
That's the vault.
Absolute hell, by the way, Bungie. So,
and
if that was your goal, you succeeded.
I mean, there's some people who are still stuck in there to this minute right now trying to figure that out.
Oh no.
But I like just watching all of this happen live. I would say that was really the moment where you guys won. That was really it, because you went through, and Riven was hell, and the special encounter, we can spend some time talking about what happens after you kill Riven, because holy moly, that's crazy too. But I think that was really the moment when you guys actually won world first. Getting through the vault. A lot of people don't understand what that's like. Spending hours upon hours doing the same thing over and over again and failing. That can really drain you. Like, it can absolutely, I can remember just way back in D1 doing Vault of Glass for 9 hours with my group, just failing over and over and over again at Athian, and everybody just wanting to quit. Getting past that is a very difficult thing. It's a very, very rough mental hurdle to get over because you just feel like you're not making any progress and your drive to do it goes away. And the fact that you and your team were able to push through that, I see some of your teams here in chat.
They know that was dark times for Redeem there. That was not good, and for many that was very dark times.
You guys pushed through, and
we did.
Persevering is what got you through to Riven. You were able to take the lead from the people who were there, and ultimately run away with the victory. And
and that's another thing too that I see people mentioning Tfue. You know, of course, legendary Fortnite star, Redeem member. He was on the world's first Wrath of the Machine. A lot of people don't even know he played Destiny. Yeah. And he came in with a 25,000 viewer host of Flesh. And at that time, Flesh was definitely struggling. And he's just like out of nowhere. What? TQ just hosted me with like 20,000 people, and we're just like, and we kind of just were like, whoa. And we all woke up and we're like, let's go, and it pumped a lot of energy into all of us, and God bless TQ. He definitely
can't quit for 25,000 people. Can't do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Because it was around that time where like I said, Flash was getting very deflated. Not to call him out, but he said it himself. He's like, bro, I don't know how long I can do this. Yeah. And then I was like, you ain't quitting now, buddy. You're locked. I was like, you're locked in for another like 8 to 10 hours at least. And he's like, guess I am. And he's like, all right, I got to go get a drink, something to eat. And after the vault, we all took like a 5 or 10 minute break and went to the bathroom and made food. And, yeah.
Rest is history.
Someone from Twitter, Drake Dangerson asked, what was the best thing that you ate during the raid?
Completion. Just big meat sticks. Big pepperoni sticks. And if there's any of my subs in chat, they'll be spamming, my meat emote. But I have these pepperoni wads laying all over my floor.
Oh my God.
I went and bought a bunch of meat, and I pretty much just lived there. I pretty much just lived off of meat sticks for about 24 straight hours.
Oh man!
Wow.
Testosterone to keep you going. By the meat sticks.
Oh, yeah, the meat stick emotes in chat. Oh, I love it.
Oh,
that's so good.
Beautiful.
Slap him with the meat stick. Beautiful.
It was meat sticks and freaking G Fuel. It was keeping me alive. I got.
It got you through it, though. It got you through.
When you go back and you read the Twitter feed after the raid first launched, and they said that the recommended power level was 550, the feed immediately from it was so aggressive towards Bungie for making it be that high of a power level, with the majority, I'm probably over 95% of the player base, not even remotely close to that, myself included. Yeah. But then you look at the actual difficulty. Like, do you think if the raid was 530, the same exact difficulty therein, though, do you think it would still be an 8-9 hour challenge just because of how much is going on and how much people have to be responsive, reactive, and responsible to each other running through it?
I think that I don't think that the hardest thing about this raid was being underleveled. I think that definitely makes you have to pay a little bit more attention and play more carefully. I think that just the sheer puzzles and you can't really carry in this raid. Everybody has to do their part, and everybody really has to know exactly what they're doing. At the boss fight, you had to know what order the eyes were, what the numbers were. Were you in sync with your partner? Who's shooting what eyes? Who's stunning? And it was heavy DPS checks, and I think DPS checks is probably where you would suffer from the most if you were underleveled. But there are ways that you can work around it, and there are always ways in Destiny that you can stack damage. So yeah, would it be easier? For sure. Would it have taken us just as long if we were underleveled? probably not just as long, but I don't really see there being too much of a difference if it was a little bit lower, if the light was dropped by 10 to 20 levels. The vault, we didn't fail the vault because of power.
Yeah.
Failed the vault because Bungie was literally throwing freaking lunar symbols at us.
So to follow up with that, you asked about, like, you kind of wondered what Bungie was thinking. Do you think this is what they've wanted to do with raids for so long and somebody was holding them back from it? Or do you think, like you had said earlier, like, do you think they just said, fuck it, we'll smack you in the mouth? If you guys really want to get punched in the mouth, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that and this is all my thoughts. I think that maybe they wanted to have these end game activities available to some more people at launch, and I think they had a pretty clear vision of allowing a larger portion of the players to be able to participate in all these end game activities. But they quickly realized that, when you do that, you sort of lose an incentive to play these end game activities, and you don't have that sort of goal that you want to reach when you can just complete something. I mean, when you think about this raid is no longer, just an extra day of playtime, something new, a day worth of new content. This raid for a lot of people, and even including myself, is going to be something that is going to be, weeks and months of content, just the raid. And I think that ultimately is what they wanted. And I do think that there's a big part of them where they were like, you're gonna say that this game's too easy.
Yeah.
Here we go. And I think that there are people that definitely thought like that as well.
It shows that they don't have much fear. It feels like when we're dealing with a different Bungie than we were at the start entirely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, night and day difference.
Night and day. Night and day.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, you asked me what impressed you the most. Their balls.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Agree. You're seeing that with a lot of things in Forsaken, whether it's the weapon slot changes, the changes to PvP, which are kind of radical when you look at Destiny 2 PvP now compared to when it launched. And I'd certainly say it's definitely the same with the Last Wish. They're pulling out the stops, and you're going to have to work towards it. And I love that. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. There's a lot of people that are really eager to get in there, but they can't, and they might feel a little down. Like I really wanted to play all this. This is what you want. You want your game to have something to always look forward to. So just hang in there. Like I said, keep doing your power drops every week.
Yeah. Eventually
you'll get there. Things are gonna get easier. Strategies are gonna get formed. There's a lot of great Sherpas out there. And videos are going to be released, and things are definitely going to get dumbed down. This happens with every raid. It always seems very extreme. This one might be on a different level, but I can promise you, a month from now, things are going to be a lot different with this raid, and a lot more people are going to have the ability to go through it. And it's just a lot of activity going on over the next month for sure.
Yeah, the game just feels so alive right now. And
yeah,
so
big time.
Between the developers and the community.
Big time.
Even it goes to show what you did kicked off new things for everybody. And that's incredible. That's something we've never seen before. So I think all the risks that Bungie took definitely paid off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was insane. We did not expect to have the completion open up content for the whole world.
Yeah.
That was actually nuts. We did not see that coming at all.
You're canon in the game story
so cool.
now. And it's your fault that my dreaming city now stinks really, really badly. It smells a little bit more like Oryx, and I'm none too pleased with that.
The Redeemer's curse.
The Redeemer's curse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was. I think there were some people who had some theories about that something like that was going to happen after the raid was completed, but certainly we had no idea if anything was going to happen. And to see that those kinds of changes could happen in the world space after you all beat the raid. What an incredible way to continue this living space that Bungie has right now. I think they've done amazing things with Forsaken, and this was just another great step forward. And congratulations, you and the rest of Redeem you're canon now. You're in the Destiny story. You guys messed up the Dreaming
fire
City.
team.
You were that.
We unleashed a curse, though, so don't thank us too much.
That's okay.
We're here for the drama. That's all that matters, right?
Can we go over exactly what happened for those who might not be aware of what the changes in game that occurred after Clan Redeem, after Team Redeem beat the raid? Because I'm still a little bit fuzzy on everything that it changed. Obviously, there's polka dots in the sky right now. But like, what else happened?
So essentially, when you log on, the first thing you got was a big message that said, the clearing of the raid has unleashed a curse or whatever. So, I just exited out of it because I just saw world's first completion. I was like,
it doesn't matter. Give me my loot.
I was like, and I just clicked X, and I was like, it notifies you on the screen. We took a screenshot, but that was only when I went back and looked at it. But yeah, it unlocked. It basically continues the storyline of the game, and you get new quests that you pick up from Petra. Yep. And it's basically like a continuation of where you left off in the story. And like you said, that brings a very almost organic feel to Destiny. It makes it seem like the game is moving in real time, which gives you even more of an immersive feeling when you're playing the game. So that was really cool. I don't want to... I'm not a huge lore person, to be completely honest. I think that the reason that I play the game is I just love the way that it feels to point your gun at an alien and shoot his freaking head off. And I think Bungie absolutely nailed the gunplay in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's a lot of spoilers in the story and lore that I think you can, if anybody that plays the game, you have full access to. Just go to Petra, pick up her bounties. There's a new strike. There's a new story mission. There's multiple NPCs now throughout the game that have different power drops that you can acquire, like Hawthorne and
Drifter too.
Drifter, yep. So it's like adding all these different deeper elements of the game. So go explore, check it out. It's all available to you guys now. Bungie did say the raid was going to change on a weekly basis. So if next week there's just a nastier boss or something, like I'm sorry.
I can see the vault combination changing. It's not, is it randomized every time, right?
Ooh.
It's not the same code every time, right?
Different symbols, no.
I could see that easily being, because what else would make people insanely angry?
It would be the vault.
That'd be the vault, right?
Yeah.
That's actually
Riven's butt instead of her face coming at you. You got to figure out what. I don't even want to get into it.
Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to think.
That's actually a great place to take this, because they did mention that the raid is going to change. It's going to be
they did. They definitely did. They said what you see in the following weeks may not be the same, and I don't really know what that means. I mean, it could mean something that just it gets a little bit more taken-y and a little bit more corrupted from week to week. That it could simply mean something like that, and then eventually they're going to drop another big bomb on us like they did with the Cade thing. Or it could mean something along the lines of Leviathan, where the encounters literally rotated and switched a little bit. I don't think it'll be something like that, but that's just an example. They could definitely change things within the raid.
Back in Oryx, they talked about how they said they designed hard mode first and then to back it off to normal for people to experience. And I feel like we had all these thoughts of like, oh my God, what is hard mode going to be like? Is there going to be all these different things? And it like it really wasn't all that different. It's like the night's a yellow bar now instead of a red bar. Whoa.
Yeah.
And this feels like they really are going to bring something significant. I mean, I'm hoping, and not just because I'm trying to make things harder for you, Glad, or your clan, but I'm really hoping that they do bring something like completely off the wall to the table that really keeps the pulse of this game going for the next 2-3 months until our next DLC comes in. Is it December? Slated for
December? December. Yeah, I mean that's going to be interesting, and that's one thing that people were saying in chat that today they're like, "What the heck is Prestige going to be?"
Yeah. Oh my God.
Do you think there'll even be one?
I would assume so. Every single raid has had a different difficulty.
And do you think it'll be locked loadouts for Prestige and everything be the same?
I hope not.
Me too.
I hope
on
not.
ribbon, dude?
I mean,
Shotgun.
I don't want, if it is, I don't want people to look back on this, but I hope not. I'm not the biggest fan of the locked loadouts thing. I think it was an idea that they tried, but I don't think overall it was received that well, personally.
Well, it kind of makes sense for the shorter layers to do that. Do that for an entire raid.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because each encounter is so different that you might, logistically want something else, but
yeah. I just you take pride in your character and the way that your character looks and everything that you built and your power level, and you take pride in your weapons and your favorite guns and your favorite roles. And what's the point of, having our favorite guns with our favorite roles if we're forced to use something that we don't like, And that was my biggest issue. Yeah. 3 edge transits.
No, that's exactly how I felt about the changes to Prestige. I like that they were trying different things with the Prestige modes for the raids, because something different did need to happen for those to differentiate them, and of course the Prestige Nightfall over the regular Nightfall. But I'm right there with you. I'm never a fan of when you take away my ability to use what I want. This game is all about that.
You make the lock loadouts make you feel less powerful.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a good direction to take. I think you should feel more powerful by defeating stronger enemies with more mechanics in a more dangerous fight. And that's what makes you feel strong.
How would you feel about with the Prestige raid, in addition to stronger enemies and all that? How would you feel about there being raid specific modifiers active in Prestige?
So once again, that's I'm not crazy about the modifiers either, because the one modifier, what's it called? Arsenal,
yeah.
Every time Arsenal came around, we were just like, do we even want to do this?
Right.
It's just not a fun modifier, really. And apparently they called that a positive modifier. I don't see that. I don't know. We'll never run out of ammo. Well, when you got a Minotaur running at you, the last thing you want to be doing is dinking in with a sidearm primary.
Yeah, I did not think that was a great combination with the.
No, it was just So modifiers, I think away with the types of ones that they were doing. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd say no modifiers. But if you're going to put modifiers on, do some ones that are fun. Yeah. Do some ones like Small Arms from Destiny 1, where your primary does more damage. Something like that. Do
Prism?
You get
be a good one.
So Prism, I'm torn about
the burns back.
Yeah. I mean, maybe just throw a single burn on. For this raid, Solar. That it's going to be a great week, for this raid layer for Whisper. Something like that. Something simple that's not going to completely. Whisper. Yeah. It's not going to completely ruin the experience.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. I don't know why we don't have Small Arms back in D2. Why is that not a thing?
Yeah, Small Arms was amazing. I loved it. So I think it'd be really cool if Prestige encounters, they threw in an extra encounter.
Ooh.
I thought that would be cool. So, halfway through, there's like a little twist, a little rumbling going on, and like another, something, rocks fall down and block your path to where you want in normal mode, and you had to do another encounter to make your way around. I always thought that would be cool.
That'd be
because you'd have to figure out something completely different. So, Bungie, that'd be dope. Do it. Think about how much that would throw people off.
Yeah, they're expecting like bats or dogs or something in Leviathan, and boom, it's something new and completely different. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Certainly better than curating loadouts, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Just maybe not run that content.
Yeah.
All right, so do we have any other questions about the Last Wish raid here? I think I've exhausted everything I had. Ooh, how did you feel about the the post-Riven death escape from New York sequence?
That was rough because
Yeah.
we didn't know. So all that we knew about Final Stand is that there was some sort of taken jumping puzzle.
Yep.
That's all we knew. And so we finally get there and we just get teleported and we're looking around and we just kind of played follow the leader. You know, I actually completely choked. I was on a warlock and I went to make a jump that like the Titan made or something. And I ran into the ledge and my character didn't mantle and you know the warlock slow glide to
the
death.
slow sad
just
floof.
like ah. So I'm just like, fuck, I'm dead and guardian down. So I go to Flesh and he's on a Titan and he grabs the orb and I guess nobody had grabbed this orb before and it sends us and then we see the orbs and we're like get the res and we res. Modern had died in the round too, so we get myself and Modern were resed up and then you know we're just ready, we're like so looking around and then she comes up and we just everything's down. I'm like empowering rifts, wells, freaking somebody throws up a big Titan shield, you know, like we're just go and we all proc whisper of the world and we're just like go and we killed her and we just freak out. It was awesome. We're just like yeah and then we're looking around and we're just like grab the chest and go to orbit. They said grab the chest and go to orbit. We're like okay we're looking around, no one can find it. And then I don't know who it was, but it wasn't me. Someone's like go into the mouth and we all jumped in the mouth and we're like what's that? That's the chest. We get into the freaking mouth and its heart starts killing us. It just starts chunking your health away. We're like, it's not done. And we're like, it's not freaking done. And we're just like, fire. And people started dropping like flies. And like, I think almost our whole team died, but we did just enough damage to the thing that we like traded and it rezzed all of us. And we're like, and we freaked out again. We're like, yes, we did it. And then we go, wait, what's this? What is this thing? Pick this up. And then it puts this bubble around us and we're like, what the fuck is this? And we're like, run, we're taking damage. And we start to leave out the mouth and it teleports us into this realm and then it freaking kills us all. And we're just like, Bungie. And then we're just like, I swear to God, if this starts us back at the beginning of the encounter, I am going to lose my shit. And thank God it didn't. It started us back into the mouth. So then we're just like, okay, this is obviously our path where we have to take the thing to get the loot. So we're all casual. We're like, all right, pick it up, stay in the bubble. Let's go get the loot. And we walk out of the mouth, immediately annihilated by Axion darts and like all these high 580 power level taken. And we're just like, are you kidding me? Like I am ready to go the fuck to bed. And you're going to sit here and make me do this after we killed the boss. And we're like, we freaking killed the boss. We were on that encounter for like another 2.5 hours. That encounter is no joke. That encounter is very tough. And it is that's when you really feel being under leveled, that encounter. I think that would have impacted people a lot. So we're just like, okay, let's backtrack. And then we realized that we had to get to like the vault area, and we're like, okay, we need to go back to the vault, and because that's where the heart is being held. So we go back to the vault, and I was the first one to actually make it back there, and I had no clue what to do. So I see this big hole in the ground, and I jump down the hole, and I die from falling damage at the end of the thing. And I was like, are you kidding me? So we go through it a second time, and I was like, I don't know where to go when you drop down the hole. And then ultimately it ended up being Flesh again, who got the ball. He dropped down the hole. He survived the falling damage. He looked around, saw stairs, walked up the stairs, and then it slammed it in, and we got our loot. And then when you slam it in, you get this black heart thing that starts pulsing again. Oh, wow. And we're like, it's not done. And we start firing at it again. And we're like, kill it. And then finally it ends, and this room brightens up, and you see all the chests everywhere. And we're just sitting there, and we're like, please, Bungie. Do not troll us, Bungie. Do not troll us. And we opened up the chest, and we all got our loot, and we were like, get the fuck out of here now.
We're free.
Yeah, we were like,
No.
just get out of here. And we went to orbit. And about 30 seconds later, who was it? Andrew Hops or somebody. He was like, okay, time for bed. And we caught on. We were like,
Yeah.
he just said, okay, time for bed. And we freaked out. And then, another 20 minutes later, Bungie tweeted it.
So
what an incredible run, dude.
I mean, if you could, I should have cut a hole in my chair because I basically just shit.
So
I never wanted something to be over more in my entire life.
Yeah, no kidding.
how angry would you have been if one of those chests had ended up being a mimic?
Debated.
It just like Dark Souls just eats you.
It's never over.
No, God. If there was anything, they trolled just enough. It's like taking a joke just far enough, but not killing. And that's exactly what they did. They took it just far enough to literally raise your blood pressure to the point where you got to go to the ER, but not to the point where you actually shit a hole in your chair. Yeah. So I opened up the chest, got 6 edge transits. I was ready to go.
All 6. That's right.
Yeah.
Actually,
No, let's go.
All your slots. You could just fully run edge transit in every slot.
Yeah. Yeah, hell of an experience. I think they know. I think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd say they did a pretty good job overall with the content in Forsaken, especially with the Last Wish raid, and I can't wait to see how it's going to be changing come Tuesday. I'm actually a little intimidated, just a little bit.
I mean, I try not to have like expectations and just keep more of an open mind. I mean, I try not to say, "Oh man, we're gonna get all this crazy new stuff, new encounters." I'm just whatever it is, subtle, something, little Easter eggs. I'm fine with all of it. So I guess we'll see.
Right
but that's the Destiny community for you. Somebody sees a misplaced rock on the ground, black spindle. Everyone jumps to freaking conclusions.
Which is hilarious.
Insane.
Someone just posted a thread on the subreddit today about finding like a symbol on Nessus with all the symbols from the raid. It's just in one of the story missions, just there.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sitting like under a rock, but they found it. This community, man, it never ceases to amaze.
Bungie. I mean, they trolled us with the basketball court in Oryx.
I'm still mad about that. I'm still upset about it. Why would you code that entire area in there?
Yeah. People spent like a full day in there to have Bungie at the end of the day say, by the way, it's just an Easter egg.
They waited so long. And
yeah, because they're probably laughing.
Oh yeah, they're just cracking up. Like,
I guarantee they were watching us during the vault, just dying laughing.
Everybody was tweeting about it. So many people from Bungie were like just cackling. So good.
Has there been any secret chests found in the new raid? Has there been any secret doors? Have you had any time to explore?
Yeah, there's I think there's 2 chests that I know of. I don't know if there's an actual third, but they're just kind of hidden like on rocks under bridges and on like the cliff edges and stuff. And they drop the raid loot kind of at your level. It's not like a powerful drop or anything. Yeah. But it's a chance to get a random roll. But there's all these little hidden rooms that just lead nowhere. I mean, they're clearly you got to go through mini jumping puzzles to get to them, and they're like little crystal caves. And there's this other spinning platform in there that has Morse code around the outside. And there's 3 letters, and it's END, so end. We think. I mean, it's either end or Den or Ned. I don't know. I guess NPC. Yeah. So we're looking at that, and when we beat the raid earlier, and then we tried to go back. I was with Gigs, and we were trying to get like back to that thing because we thought, okay, maybe you get to the end of the raid and then you return to it, and you can't do it, and then it eventually sends you to orbit after like 2 minutes. So we don't know what the heck that is. It's a spinning plate with Morse code, and when you stand on it, it rotates. So it's clearly something's going on. And there's there's a little well. It reminds me something from like The Legend of Zelda, and we think that when you do something with this plate, something's gonna come like out of the water, like a gift or something. I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sword in the stone.
Yeah. So it's like, why are these things in there? I mean, I don't know.
It's cool hearing you talk about, you were hanging out with gigs. Like a lot of times from the outside looking in, like these are competitions. It's a world first competition. You are going head to head against all these other teams, these other clans, these other content creators.
Mm-hmm.
But can you talk about how the relationship you have with everybody, how you guys are pretty much all buds, you all work together, do things outside of just your clan?
Yeah.
I feel like from community standpoint, sometimes things can get heated from community to community, especially in other video games. But it's not really like that with us in Destiny. For the most part, we're really
it's not. Yeah, no, it's actually really not, and I'm really surprised because it does get very competitive. But I think a big part of it too is it's kind of like every job or atmosphere that you put yourself into. Is there's a lot of networking and stuff that's going on, and I think a lot of us just respect everybody else and what everybody else is doing and all the great ideas and contributions and hard work that everybody's putting in. And there's always going to be that underlying level of respect that we always have for each other. And it's just really cool to see that people from the Destiny community are able to compete at a really high level, but be totally cool. Like there's tons of memes going around, how many fourth places does Gigs have for world's first race? And we're playing with him today, and we're playing with Sneaky Beaver, who was on Dato's team, and so many times Gigs would be like, all right guys, I'll be right back, gotta take a 2-minute break. And and it's nice to have people that are able to just go asshole, you know what I mean, but be okay with it. So I really commend the community, and personally our clan, as Redeem, has been doing a really awesome job, turning around really informative YouTube channels and growing Twitch channels. And we've had multiple members of our clan partnered on Twitch and passing huge milestones on YouTube as subscribers. And I've said before to them, and I've said on tweets, I couldn't be more proud of the impact and everything that we've been doing together as a clan. For the community. I know a lot of people really appreciate everything that we've been doing, and it really means the world to us for all the people that support us and believe in us. And we feel the same way about all the other clans in the community that do the same types of stuff that we do. So I'm all about spreading that good energy and sending good waves out there, and I see a lot of people are picking up on it. And it's the community has really become a place that a lot of people can come to and feel very welcomed and appreciated. So
that's great. I mean, you guys are a tight-knit group of people. We talked a bit earlier in the show about how important it can be to have that group of people that you play with, that and that you can rely on. It's just as important as as a team in any sport, being able to trust and know how the people you're playing with and how they're going to handle and react to things, knowing that they've got your back. And you guys definitely showed out. Incredible work getting world's first with the what's probably going to be the largest and most difficult of any of the raids that Bungie has put out thus far. So props to you guys.
You never know now. Yeah, that's a thing. Bungie's sort of put the foot down and said, "Listen, we're dad. We're gonna make the decisions around
I'm
here.
your daddy."
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of freaking scared for the next one.
Oh my god!
I mean, if this is the path that they're taking,
yikes.
Yeah, I mean, we know we're getting like raid layers or something with some of these content releases that are coming up. December and spring and in the summer. So I wonder what's going to be happening both with the Dreaming City throughout that and with whatever other content we're going to be getting moving forward, because they've clearly shown they're perfectly happy to clap absolutely every Guardian in the room. And I love it. It's great. It's fantastic. Well, all right. I mean, unless some of the hosts here have some other questions, I think it's time to move on to some of the community questions. Right, guys?
I think so.
Most excellent. So this is part of the show
We
where
have
we're
a
basically
couple
going to be
already.
opening things up to chat, letting you guys ask some questions, especially questions of our guests. And I do believe I heard Dan say we've got a few ready, right?
Yes. So we have from iFatchu. When did Glad get asked to join Redeem when he used to compete against Error and Tifu?
Oh, when did I get? Okay.
Process
So I actually got asked to join Redeem by Tfue himself. The first contact I had with them, so this was after I had done the Crota solos with the Rock Band drums.
Yeah.
So my buddy Underdog, there was a glitch in Destiny 1 where you could spam hammers. And I knew that he was able to do some programming, so I called him up and asked him to do the Rock Band drum stuff. He could program that to play the game. He eventually did. He ended up programming voice commands, all that stuff. I got to give him a lot of credit for, getting, I guess, my name out there in the Destiny community. And then I started doing, raid solo speed runs and 2-man speed runs and doing the entire Crota raid backwards without taking any damage, blindfolded, all these really off the wall things. And I was streaming one of them one day, and Tfue was in my chat, and he just popped in. I had watched him all the time. He was a big Destiny PvE streamer, him and Slayer.
Right.
And he just popped in for a couple minutes and then popped out. And then the next day, he messaged me on Xbox, and I was like, wait, like, actual Tfue? And I checked his account, and he was like, yeah. And he's like, yo, this was the conversation. Yo, you got a good Titan? And I was like, yeah, I got everything you need. He goes,
I got everything you need.
he invites me to a party. He goes, let's go. We're 2-man and Orcs Titan. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And so we went in and we started messing around, and we didn't get anywhere. We were just kind of messing around with ideas. And then he goes, all right, yeah, I'll see you later. And he leaves. And I'm like, okay. And then I got invited to a party like a little bit later. And it was all the guys, like all the Redeem guys, or at least like what had been formed at that moment. I would say maybe like 6 or 7 people. And Tfue was just like, so what do you think of getting, at the time my name was Gladiator, but it was spelled glad he ate her. So
yeah,
it's a play on words. It was a porno that I saw in a porn shop one time when I was 18. I thought it was funny, so I made it a name.
Taste.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Nutrition taste.
Yeah, so he's like, what do you think of Gladiator joining? And I always tell a story. Everyone was like, hey, dude. And then freaking modern tryhard, typical in modern fashion. Just, he was like, I don't know about all that rock band shit being around here. And I'm just like, come on. And then, eventually I joined, signed up, got the tag. And then I've been playing with those guys ever since, for years now. But my name got reported multiple times. I kept changing it. And then I changed it to Inspect Her Gadget, but it was Inspector Gadget. I just kept going with all these little quirky names. And then I made it Shadowfax because I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. And then eventually they were just like, Doug, can we just have something short and cool and simple? And everyone called me Glad anyway, and I just made it Glad. And that's the story of Redeem and Glad.
It might be the greatest naming story I think I've ever heard.
It's a saga.
Beautiful.
But I like the name Glad a lot. I think it fits me.
It works, man.
Yeah. If you knew beforehand it would take almost 19 hours to finish the raid, what brand of diapers would you have worn?
I probably just would have worn no pants, dude. That's probably the best way to go.
The hole in the chair. He said this already.
Yeah, like I said, slice a big hole.
I've got one for you. Obviously you've got quite the history here with Destiny, and I think Destiny has certainly been a very special game for everybody here, both watching and participating in today's show. What was your first gaming experience?
My very first gaming experience that I can remember is Atari. Yeah, I had an Atari system in this little house on like the corner of an apartment complex, and it was the analog and stuff, and a couple of red buttons. That was my very first one. But my first true, what got me addicted to video games, and it is the best video game of all time, in my opinion. Actually, no, not in my opinion. It's the best video game. Ocarina of Time.
My man.
Is just a masterpiece from beginning to end, way ahead of its time. And I've never wanted to just get home and just ignore everything and just, sort of play Ocarina of Time. And I still play it to this day. It's amazing. I haven't played it in months since I quit my job to become a full-time streamer. but I would say that was the big game that sort of put video gaming on the radar. And then what got me into competitive gaming and what got me into speedruns was Mario Kart. That's when I got that itch to keep beating my own records, And then what got me into shooters and competitive, PvP was when I was in my teens. I played a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So between, the speedrunning Mario Kart, the immersive nature of games like Zelda and Call of Duty and Mass Effect games, that's what led me to Destiny. Yeah, That's sort of how I branched over. And then once I realized how unique Destiny was, it's history from there.
Right on, dude. That makes my heart happy. Yeah, Ocarina of Time, my favorite game. I'm right there with you.
Outstanding.
Stuff. What an immersive experience. So all of that leads up to, you starting with Destiny. Do you have a favorite Destiny memory?
A favorite Destiny memory? This one is definitely top 3, sure. This to me was the most important world's first for me.
Yeah.
But I guess the most memorable one was the one that really started it all, when I did the Rock Band drum solo. And because there was a Reddit post that said when is somebody gonna solo the Crota raid with Rock Band drums, and kind of got buried. And then I did it, posted on Reddit. No Reddit karma, never posted on Reddit before, and said, "Hey, what you guys had all asked for? Here's a solo of Crota using Rock Band drums." And I took a coat hanger, and I forgot to have sticks, and I took a coat hanger, a wooden one, and snapped it in half and used the 2 hands of the coat hanger to slam the thing. People eventually thought I was using wooden spoons. And I went to bed that night, and I was like, whatever. And I woke up, and I didn't know what it was like to go trending over the internet overnight.
Yeah.
It was insane. My phone was completely blown up. People from high school were hitting me up. They're like, "Bro, you're literally like on the news and stuff." And I was like, "What?" I checked the video, and it had like 400,000 views overnight, which is crazy for a video game video with a YouTube channel that had like 4 subscribers.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That's when I realized, I was like, crap, man, people actually want to watch this stuff. So I started booting up little streams from Xbox, and I was like, hey, like 2 to 3 people. I was like, I'm going to do the same thing to Crota, but I'm going to talk in a microphone. And
that's how it starts.
Yeah.
Obviously the right choice, because we're happy to have you here where you're at right now with the level of success that you've experienced, man. You've earned it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a journey for us all, for sure.
Yeah. 100%. We have another question?
Yeah, I think this one's fairly good one. MJD22. How does it feel to have such support during the raids? And do you guys ever feel pressured during the races? I mean, you guys have won like 5 of these things already.
So for sure, there's always that feeling of messing up and missing out because it's your fault. There's always that feeling inside, like, we can't screw this up. We got to get this. We got to get this first. But I feel that's more of a competitive nature, and I feel people operate under pressure differently. Everybody on our team is very, very good at performing when they need to perform. But I also feel that everybody also feels different pressures. Compared to everybody else. Me, I don't really get nervous. I'm just there. I'm just trying to keep moving forward. I can't. I'm not in the minds of my other teammates, so I can't really speak for them. But yeah, we definitely feel pressured. But the support of everybody that really encourages us and believes in us is a big backbone and keeps us moving forward. But when every single time a new raid comes up, people just expect us to win, and that is a heavy thing. And I try to let everybody know that, like, hey, listen, we appreciate the support and everything, but like, we're not guaranteed to win, any one of these. And although we do appreciate the support, anybody can win. It's always a fair race. Right. So it's heavyweight though.
All right, I think that pretty much wraps it up for those that are aimed at Glad. There's a couple that I think that are aimed at the overall team here. Milk before cereal? Anyone?
No. Are you a psychopath? No. God.
It's right here. I'm staring it down. It's the only one that I see.
There's always
I put cereal in a plate once because I was really tired. It's about as sinister as I'll get with.
I don't think that's sinister. I think that's reasonable if you're tired. But
I took a picture of it and tweeted it. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I need help.
Did you ever put the milk back in the cupboard? Like same thing.
Oh, all the time. And the cereal in the fridge. Oh yeah.
Oh,
all in there.
I've done the frisbee, the April and Andy frisbee from Parks and Recreation. That's pretty much as far as I've gone, but always cereal before milk.
Wait, what's the frisbee?
So when you don't, okay. So in years past, I didn't always have like the cleanest dishes. I used to be in bands and therefore lived in band houses. So you would have, it wasn't the best place to be, but like, see, sometimes you wouldn't have a bowl, so you'd have a frisbee. Is that right?
Oh my god, you actually ate cereal out of a frisbee?
Look, man,
that's awesome.
Once or twice in your life, it's fine. After that, I mean, I
you
think
gotta start
tomorrow.
Yeah, you gotta start doing your dishes.
Yeah,
you can't have those little arguments with your roommate like, well, I did them last time.
Just do the dishes.
Anyways,
don't eat cereal out of a frisbee, kids.
I mean, it's an experience.
We cannot be held responsible if you do, though. So
no.
I use frisbees.
What else we got, Dan?
Let's see here. So we have a question about when do we think that the last word will make an appearance in Destiny 2, and do we think that it might be during the Festival of the Lost?
I mean, the way that it seems like it's going, I would say yes. They're bringing back so many iconic guns. And right now, they haven't really brought back an iconic PvP gun yet. So we don't have a Thorn, we don't have a Last Word, we don't have a Hawkmoon, things like that.
Didn't they drop that script in one of the scenes at the end of the story? Like somebody said something about the last word literally throughout the at the end of the campaign.
Oh yeah, Any last words? I think
something like that was a foreshadowing moment for me, saying, yeah, this weapon. And I have no inside information, but that kind of meant to me that it was going to be making an appearance at some point.
Yeah.
I won't get into it too much, but like the stuff that's going on with the Drifter. Maybe might hint at, either Thorn or Last Word or both coming back. So,
yeah.
I want my Hawk
very
Moon.
possibly.
Hand it to me. Give me my Hawk Moon back.
Give me my Hawk. Yeah.
With my lucky bullets. I don't care. It can break PvP. I want it. I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, I think.
I don't think it's.
I wouldn't put it past them. That's for sure.
Especially given, like you said, what's been going on with the with a lot of D1 stuff coming back as of late, and I have no problems with that. I have none whatsoever. You can bring that D1 stuff back. I love it.
Yeah, people ask me a lot, what D1 exotic weapon would you want back, and I just miss Bad Juju. To be
Yeah,
honest.
Juju would fit so well in D2 too, right? Like,
I always liked that gun. I liked everything about it. I liked it in Crucible. I liked it in PvE. And I if I got my hands on that gun, I would definitely try to do some like very innovative type stuff. So I want that gun back. That gun was great.
Especially considering Toland is reappearing all throughout the story here in D2 now. I mean, bring back that bad Juju. Why not, right? I can use it.
And yeah, I think for time's sake, I think that's all the questions that we can muster.
Right, we've been going for a little bit of a while here. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe Dan is calling for the end of episode 170 of the Planet Destiny podcast. This has been a great one. Glad. It's been fantastic having you here, man. You have been an amazing guest. You and the rest of Redeem who joined us here in the chat tonight. You guys, you deserve those world champion belts that you're going to be getting, and I hope you all realize the effect that you've had on the game moving forward. Thanks so much.
I know everybody's really pumped about it in the clan. They're pumped about the physical belts for sure.
Oof, that's cool stuff. I mean, do you wanna give a shout out to the rest of your clan here?
I'm sorry, you cut out?
You wanna give a shout out to the rest of your clan here?
Dude, I mean they know that they know that I respect the homies. And the OGs and the new members for sure. It's been a great time. So we do actually have a Twitter that we're trying to continuously grow. So get that out there. Go check it out. We put all of our updates and everything on there. But like I said, we have multiple members that are doing crazy things with YouTube and multiple Twitch partners. The last one being Sweatsicle, actually. So congratulations to everything that they're doing. And I look forward to many years to come for sure.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, I know we're all certainly looking forward to seeing more of you and more of your clan's crazy escapades throughout the Destiny franchise moving forward. May you have many more world's firsts under your belt. Maybe a little bit less stressful. The next couple of times. Hopefully we don't have any more faults and any more raids moving forward. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for tonight's episode. Before we get on out of here, we do want to direct you towards our guest, Glad, and the places you can find him across the internet. You want to take a second or two to tell him where you're at on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all those places, and what you've got coming up in the week.
Yeah, YouTube is just YouTube/C/Glad. I mean, the easiest way to find me on YouTube is just Crota Rock Band drums. Yeah. Click on the channel there. Twitch, at xglad on Twitch is my Twitter. So at xglad on Twitch is my Twitter, and then my Twitch is xglad. I did have to put the X there, and Glad is with 2 D's always with the double D. I don't like it with the single D. It looks weird.
That's all right.
It looks weird. It really does.
That's all right. We like double D's here. That works just fine. Well, thanks once again for joining us tonight, man. You've been a fantastic guest.
Yeah. Well,
Awesome
thank you so much for having me on. Like I said, it's been an honor, and I've been checking you guys out for a while, so it was pretty cool when I got the email.
Right on, man. It's great to have you here. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get on out of here, we'll let you know where you can find the rest of us across the internet and what we've got coming up this week. If you happen to be here live during the chat, don't go anywhere. We're going to be raiding somebody after the show ends. So go through that directory, pick out somebody you want us to send this audience to, and we will do so. First things first, Mr. Aura, where you at on the internet? What you got coming up this week?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Aura, AURA, on Twitter. Still Evil Aura, 3VIL_AURA. Sorry for the name change, but I had to get the OG 4 letters. Also, catch me with my dog every time I stream my pitbull. Her name is Layla. She's very, very important to me in the community. I want to make sure we're showing people exactly how this breed of animal exists in the wild, aka my couch. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Right on. Dan, how's it going, man?
It's going well. You can find me at Danfinity, but the I's are L's on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Danfinity. Almost every day, you can find me here on Planet Destiny, streaming on Thursday mornings unless I work. And you can find my podcast, Side Quest Sunday, this week. Fallout Plays is the guest. It was quite an awesome episode. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Stuff. Moon.
You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at Moonvald, Moonvald. That's about it.
Pretty simple. Of course,
Yeah.
my name is The Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at The Black Link. This week's going to be more usual stuff, grinding up characters, thinking about running Last Wish and then not running Last Wish. That's probably what it's going to be. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 170 of the Planet Destiny podcast. This is going to go down as one of my favorites. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right.